G'day, welcome back to another episode of Togl. Well, this week the video will be back to its normal half-hour length. I hope you enjoyed last week's big 1 hour episode. It was quite different, as I said, but this week it's going to be a little bit more of the mundane. Look at how long this grass is growing. I need to get that mowed. So in there is our dog run / veggie patch. So we don't have a ride-on mower yet, we haven't got to that point, but I just need to mow in there. So I've brought down the mower. I'll give there a mow, around the edges a bit of a mow, make a bit of a clear zone on this side of the fence all the way around as well. I want to get some electric fence put up on this to stop possums climbing up over the fence. So I'll get some electric fence put in. And then I also want to go and do some more work on the road over the next few days as well, do some more clearing. So that's pretty much all it's going to be for the next few days. Not a particularly exciting one, but it's just that's the day-to-day life of what we've got to do up here. You have your fun, but then you got your work as well, obviously. So with that being said, I'm going to go and start getting the mowing done. I'll show you a couple of minutes of that. I mean, it's mowing grass. It's same as you guys that do, just on a larger scale. But probably the more interesting stuff will be when I'm up there clearing the bush. And when I do put up the electric fence, I'll explain a bit more about what I'm going to do with that too. Let's get started. Well, that took a while. That was probably, I don't know, an hour and a half or more there. But it was good now, doesn't it? It's very thick in that front area though. That was where, if you recall, many episodes ago, I had a big bonfire. Just set pile to a big heap of brush. And because I knew it would have killed all the grass and seeds and everything, because of its intensity, I put grass seed down, and so wherever else was about that thick, it was about this thick, so that's why I had to go backwards and forwards a lot in that one area. But that's looking great now. So now what I'm going to do is have a quick drink, and I need to fence off where the corn is down the back, so I'm going to quickly fence that off, and then I might let Flick and Hamish let them have a run in the big area whilst I mow a strip around the outside. I'll get onto that now. This is our corn patch, and our glass gem corn is striking up really well, and even though they're both planted on the same day, it looks like the sweet corn is maybe about a week or so behind it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a star picket in just here, level with this one. I'll bring the fence out this way and then run it straight down there. So I'll get that sorted out now. On reflection, I might bring it out a bit more, make it level with the other star picket down the end there. Eventually I'll fill the whole area into veggie patches there. grab one more star picket. Now, I've also, the other day, yesterday actually, Kay and I went and got these beautiful big asparagus crowns, and we got them for free, which is really good. So I'm going to be planting them as well. So I've just got some of them soaking in some water, and then I'll give the rest a soak in a minute. I'll bring some more dirt in with the tractor, making sure I fold that top bar down when I come through that gateway. Don't want to be wearing another log on the head. And I've got firewood stacked up out there, so I can't really dump it over the fence. That's how I did all this lot. I just dumped it over the fence, but I think I'll bring it in and through, I think. So yeah, anyway, I'll get this fence sorted. Alright, that didn't take too long using the tractor. I love having that and a ready pile of dirt, so I'm just going to rake that out, and then I'm going to get this fence around it. Actually, I might put the fence around first. I'll put the fence around, then I can let the dogs in, then I can start raking and planting and that sort of thing. Sounds like a better plan. I'm keen to get the dogs in here. So let's get this fence up. Well, it's rough, but it'll do for now. Now I can go and let Flick and Hamish in for a good run around. Better get this tractor out of here first though. Now with asparagus, you want those nice high ridges because you want to plant these nice and deep, but at the same time you want to sit them on top and have the roots going down like that. So what I'm going to do now, and you want a really nice well draining soil, which is another reason to have it elevated like that, lets the water drain through real easy, nice and loose so that these roots can grow. What happens is during summertime, if you don't pick an asparagus, hopefully this doesn't go blurry, but that's a little asparagus stalk right there. If you don't pick it, it will sprout up and get all these fronds. So what happens is photosynthesizes, puts all the nutrients down into the root ball, and the root ball swells and gets larger and larger. During winter, all the top above ground dies off, and then come spring it starts to shoot up like a bamboo shoot, but it's an asparagus shoot. They're what we eat. You keep snapping them off and eating them, but you must make sure that towards the end of the season you let several grow into nice big fluffy plants, because as it keeps sending up these shoots, the root ball, all the nutrients in it are being diminished. So you do need to give it that chance towards the end of the season to replenish the nutrients into the ball, get it nice and big and strong, ready for the next season. So I've got about 4 or 5 of these now, and I'm just going to get them planted. So I actually got 7 out of that, so that's not too bad going. But now I need to give the rest of the plants around here a water, so I grab the tractor, go down to the creek, fill up some jerrys of water so I can finish watering the rest of the plants. Then I'll get on with a little bit more mowing, because it is getting late. It's now 6 o'clock, so probably got about another hour and a half to 2 hours of light. So I'll get some watering done, a little bit more mowing. Well, that's the watering for in here done. I might go up and I'll give the avocados a bit of water as well, and it's actually going to be nice to mow down in here now, because as you can see the shadow's fallen through here, the temperature's dropped heaps. It's nice and cool now because it's been really hot lately. So yeah, a little bit more mowing after I water those avocado trees. I'm not going to bother filming that, and that'll be it for today. So the next you'll see in just a minute will most likely be me up at the block tomorrow or the next day when I start to clear some more of the crown land. So I'll see you then. Well, back up here at the block again. It's a bit of a funny old day today. It was supposed to be 100% sunshine, but it's been cloudy. We've been getting a few little light rain showers through. Anyway, I thought I'd pop up and have a look at the grapes, the grapevine, see how they were going. When I got up here, almost couldn't find them. The grass is so thick. Nothing else to do but to get the mower out. 4.5 hours later, doesn't the vineyard look good? And I am absolutely buggered. It's really hard yakka. Let's go down and have a look. Really hard yakka pushing the mower along across the slope because it kept trying to slide down. The grass was thick for a start, you can see that. The wind was blowing. Oh, it was just crazy. It was exhausting, but it was easier than going up and down the hill across because I couldn't push it up. The hill's too steep and the grass too thick, so I had to go across the slope. Anyway, the vines are looking good. Let's have a look. Oh. So some of the vines are really coming along nicely like that, and then some of them it's like, yeah, I don't know if it's going to make it. So there's a few that maybe won't make it, I don't know, but we keep tracking along. You can see looking right down here, I mean, some are really good. It's funny how they've all gone at different stages. Maybe some were healthier than others. Some have even got what appear to be the starting of little grape bunches maybe. So that'll be cool. I mean, I know they're all a wine grape, but I hear they're not too bad to eat. Then you come over and you find some other vines like this that are just starting to get a little bit of sprout coming out of them. So, you know, those other ones that I can't see any growth on, they might come good, who knows. But yeah, there's a few. Now you look at this one, it looks like it might not make it. I can't see any buds on that. Now I come down to this one, which was looking the same, but hang on, look at that one little leaf right there. So, you know, that one, that might make it. Anyway, it is looking really good now that it's mowed. Hopefully it stays low for a little while. We don't want to have to do that too often. Yes, I should get a ride-on mower. I'm not sure how a ride-on mower would go with this slope either, but at the moment all the money's being saved for putting the house up. That's the number one priority, is getting that. Make sure for money is making sure that we've got the money for the house. So not spending on what would be considered a luxury as a ride-on mower when I can push this around at the moment. All right, well, it's lunchtime and I'm hungry, so I'm going to head back to camp and make a couple of steak sandwiches. Well, back at the block again today. Yesterday was an exhausting day. All that mowing, and then I did start some work did a bit more mowing around the camp area and whatnot. Anyway, what I wanted to show you is this is something that I've been knocking up, a heap of these. So just a little piece of pipe, it's just poly pipe, hole drilled in one end, hole drilled in the other end with a cut down to the hole. So you're probably thinking, well, what's he using these for? Well, yesterday I started work on the electric fence, and this is how I'm holding the electric fence off. So where I've got the just the hole through, I've been threading them along the piece of electric wire. So they're all threaded on the start, and then I'm just sliding them up around. It's 100 meters this perimeter. Then the other one that's got the notch in is so that I can actually push it on and click it onto the fence like that. So I put one there, click one down the bottom with the wire running through the middle, and that's what I'm using as the stay to hold the electric fence off. Cheap as chips, saves buying the proper standoffs and that, which would cost a fortune to do that amount, and I get to put them nice and close together as well. So I've got the chicken wire up to here, and then it's got the small squares, and then it starts to get into the larger squares up here. Now a possum's barely might squeeze through one of those if it was really determined, but it's definitely not going to squeeze through one of these. It's not going to get through the chicken wire, so the electric fence level will be right here. And there's enough of a gap here that if a possum tried to squeeze through, he's going to get zapped. Chances are he'd probably try and grab a hold, and then he's going to get zapped. At a perfect earth too. One claw on the wire connected to the ground, the other claw touches this. It's going to make a very good connection. He's going to get a hell of a zap, and that's what's going to stop us from getting the possums into the veggies. Let me just show you a run down the side there. So you can see I've done this side already. I did that side yesterday afternoon. I didn't film any of it. I was in a bit of a rush to get it done. But you can see all the way down there where I've got all those standoffs, and when that's all pulled tight, that should hold in nice and firm. So I'm just going to continue putting these on, and then we'll get it all wired up, and then I'll show you how I'm getting around the posts. So I've got something special I'm going to do to get around the corners as well. We'll get to that in a minute. So you can see right here where I've got all these hanging, and so I just keep sliding them along and then putting them up as need be. So I just keep two, measure out about an arm's span, and then I'm putting one down here. They can be a little fiddly to get on. That's clicked in. The next one goes up there. Click, click. And there we are, simple as that. I move out another arm span and repeat the process. Well, I'm in the doghouse again. Not like that. There's a bit of light misty rain coming through, so I actually thought, well, I'll jump into the dog run. I haven't got the dogs up here with me today, and as you can see, we've actually got a tarpaulin over the dog run. You can see the veggie patch behind us, so I thought, well, I'll set up in here. It keeps the rain off the camera, and I can boil up the billy, get ready to have a cuppa. But it's not the only reason that I'm boiling the water. A couple of years back, my daughter gave me this for a present. It's called Plasti-Make. And for all intents and purposes, it just kind of looks like rice. If you haven't seen this stuff before, it's fantastic. It's like little granules of plastic, moldable plastic. What you got to do is heat it up in hot water. So it's great for all applications except where it might get warm, because then it's going to get soft again. And when I say warm though, I'm talking like boiling. So you wouldn't be able to use it in like the engine of a car, but you could use it anywhere else in a car, for instance. Great for repairs. This stuff, I've made shapes out of this and belted the bejesus out of it with a hammer, and it holds its form. It doesn't crack. It's amazing stuff. So what I'm planning on doing with this is, I set about on the corners to go around the corners of the veggie patch with the electric fence. It's plastic, so it's an insulator. So what I intend on doing is I'm going to put bolts, coach bolts in, 2 on the corner, and then I'm going to use this stuff to make like an insulator over the end of the bolt that the wire can run through, and that's going to get it around the post. It was the easiest way I figured that I could make something like that. So once the kettle's boiled, I'm going to show you how to use this Plasti-Make, and we're going to make a few things out of it, or we're going to make a few little insulators out of it. If I remember, I'll also show you, I made a handle for my machete because the machete handle broke several episodes ago. So what I did was I actually got the fire cranked up and I forged on a new handle in metal so that it's metal all the way through, and then I used this Plasti-Make and made a really nice handle for it. Now the other cool thing with this too is that they do give you some little sachets, and I'm losing it, of colours. So some little coloured beads. So what you can actually do, and I've done it for the machete handle, is you can put some colours through it as well. So I might go and grab that machete and show you the handle while the kettle's boiling. Okay, so I just ran over there and grabbed, this is my machete. Very handy up here on the block, you've seen me use it before. But that's the handle. So I put a bit of black and red plastic into it just at the last minute, and then moulded that out. And that's a really nice grip. I sort of moulded it to fit my fingers there. And that's like, I'm really happy with that. Got the hole through the end so that I can put the lanyard to go around my wrist. We don't want it flying out like it did when I was clearing the track with Kay. Now you can see that I've left that so that there's a bit of black and red splash through it. You can actually, if you mould it long enough, like really mould it in, you can change the colours. So I could put in just a couple of red and turn it into like a light red or a pink. or if you just wanted something that was pure black, then you just add some black, mold it like knead it, and then it will end up being a black plastic. Now that plastic, as you can see, is white. You'll see that the beads were white, but they will go clear when heated up, and then as it sets it goes back to white. I'd like to see them make some where it stays clear, because I think that could be really cool too. The handle did look very cool when it was clear before it went cold, because you could see the metal spine through it. But anyway, sounds like the kettle's boiling, so I'm going to get this started. I'm going to get my cuppa going, and then I'll show you this Plastimate and how it changes. Alright, so there's the plastic in there. We'll just pour some hot water into it. Now be careful, because you are working with hot water. You can see instantly how it's starting to go clear. I hope you can see that. And see how that's going clear? The longer it's in there, the clearer it gets, and it's starting to stick together into a ball. Now you're going to mold this, be aware it's going to be hot, and there's going to be hot water in amongst it all as well, so you do have a few minutes to play with it, but just be careful. Sometimes I'll wear rubber gloves, like kitchen dishwashing gloves and that, but so now you can see I can start to mold this up, and see how it's clear? Almost looks like a toffee or something. So you can mold this into any shape you want. That is quite warm still, but yeah, it's fine. And then if you want, like I said, if you wanted colours, you can put a few of those, heat up a few of those coloured beads, get them in here as well, and then start to mould them through. And the more that you mould it through, the more the colour will spread. So you can make it a complete colour, or you can just do a little bit of moulding and use and have like colour swirls and stuff through it. But yeah, amazing stuff, and you can make any shape you want out of it. Yeah, really cool stuff. So what I need to do is I'm just going to pop that back into the hot water to stay pliable, and then I'm going to tilt the camera up if I can. No, it came off. Alright, so what I'm going to do is go and put some bolts in, and then I'll show you how I mold these up. Alright, so I've got the bolt in here now, just got that back out of the hot water. All I need to do is just mould this around. Now one thing I'm making very sure to do is that I don't let this wire touch the bolt inside that plastic. I've got to make sure I keep that gap out. Now you might be able to notice that where it's touching the metal up here, it's already starting to go opaque. And as that cools, I could cool it down a lot quicker just by pouring some cold water on it. I should have brought my water bottle down. I could have just poured some water on it. But that's going to cool off and set nicely. So you do have a bit of time. See, I'm still moulding that. You do have a bit of time to mould it. Now that it's starting to set, I'll pull that wire out and we'll just leave that to go off. And as you can see now, that's gone nice and white. So that's now set perfectly, and I've threaded the wire back through it. I'll wrap that wire around and tie itself off in a minute. But let's get on to the other corners. Now the corners I'm going to do a little bit differently. I'll grab some of this out. Okay, so because the wire is already running around here and I can't thread it through because I've already wrapped it around, and that was okay, I knew that would be the case. So this is the plan, is that I will mould this around like it needs to be, around the spike there, around the bolt I should say. And then I'm just going to make a notch right down the middle. So now when that sets, I'll be able to put the wire through that. Then I'm going to come back, once I've got the wire in, I've got the wire all nice and tight. I'm just going to try and heat the ends, just pour a little bit of hot water and just heat the ends enough that I can squeeze it together and mold it and seal it, and that'll seal it around the wire. That's the plan, we'll see how it goes. So here we are at the gate, and what you can see here is, if I zoom in for you, let's lock that off there. Okay, so what I've done is, this is actually off and tensioned onto this, so that when the tension went on, the tension is pulling on this bolt. This way, all I've done is I've just wrapped a loop around through the same wire so the electricity will flow through. Wrapped around a couple of times, come across, and I've actually done the same thing on the other end. And now you'll see what happens when I open the gate, is that wire will just flex, and then when I close the gate, the wire goes back into position without touching. So that's how I've got the gate sorted out. And what you can see over on the other side there is that I've just got like a loose wire. Let me show you that. I'm up here filming by myself today, so excuse the camera work. So the end comes through here, and then it just comes up to there. It's just loose. It's not touching anything though, but I thought, you know, what if a possum is cunning enough to climb up and climb his way through? Well, I can't see that happening now either. I reckon that's going to do the trick. So let's get the solar panel hooked up. Well, as you can hear, that rain keeps coming through. It's only light, but it's not something I want to get, you know, on the camera. I don't want the camera to get wet. So I'm standing in the dog run underneath the shelter. But what you're looking at there, that orange thing is the solar panel. It's facing away from us at the moment. It's facing north to get the sun. And then the wires just go across and clip onto the fence. You can probably see that red clip there, which is the live that's connected to the electric fence. And then simply, I mean, there's a very easy way to test it. Touch it. Not happening. I'm not touching it. It gives a hell of a kick. But the other way is you just get a piece of insulated wire with an exposed end, and you can just touch it from one piece to the other. Or like what I did, I just had a little piece of wire and a pair of pliers with plastic handles. I just held the piece of wire with the pliers, made a connection between the electric fence and the normal fence, and yep, little sparks, zappy, all good. So that's on now, and that's protected, and that should keep those evil little possums at bay. Well, with this rain continuing to hinder me, and the fact that it's lunchtime and I'm hungry, I guess there's nothing much more left to do, but I'm going to make a little fire and cook up a bit of lunch. Well, had a nice feed for lunch, but time to get back to work. So another one of the presents that I got was this brush cutter, and this is going to be very useful up here, along with some safety gear, thanks sis. Alrighty, so I have tried this out before. I was using it up at home at the rental, just doing the edges, and we just use the normal standard head like that with the string. Everyone's familiar with those. But what I want to do is clear around all that mess that's around the log there, so that we can get in there and start getting some more of that timber out over coming weeks. And it's all overgrown now with bracken and thistles and whatnot. So for that, I'm going to be using this bad boy. Nice big serrated disc. So yeah, good thing is when this is clipped into the harness and I'm holding on to both handles, it keeps that blade well. Even if it catches, all it's going to do is spin me around, but that blade's not going to come anywhere near me. Which, looking at that blade, is like a big saw blade. I'm glad about. Anyway, let's get stuck into some of this. Yep, this thing's awesome. I take down small trees with this sucker, but I think I might not have done the nut up tight enough. I got a bit of a wobble up, so I'll go check it. Well, I'm afraid we're out of time for this episode, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Next week is our 50th episode. Not my 50th birthday, it's our 50th episode. 51 if you do count the intro that I did right at the start. But anyway, episode 50. Can't believe we're here, and it's almost Christmas time. We're almost at the end of the year already. It has gone so fast. Anyway, make sure you tune in next week for the 50th episode. I'll be doing a little bit more milling, a little bit more fishing, a little bit more clearing. So all manner of things on the next episode. I hope you've enjoyed this one. It was probably a little bit more boring. You know, hey, basically it's housework, isn't it? So, or yard work. Anyway, I hope you've had a great week, and I hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe. I'll see you next week. Cheers.